Hey guys, it's Tim again from Hobgoblin's Hideaway, back with part 2 of our most recent CBCS unboxing. Thought I'd try and break this one up a little bit for you and give you that bit of time between the two videos. They're both going to get posted pretty shortish. Just means that we can edit them and get them up much quicker for you, so you'll be able to see some great books so far, loads of 9.8s. We've had a really successful Amazing Spider-Man 300, which came back at 9.4. We've had a Spider-Man 1 Blue Lizard, which came back at 9.6. So some fantastic books so far, as well as some 9.8 modern variants, all signed as well. So lots to be going through. So make sure you check out part 1 of the video. Let's get down to it. Let's get straight into the comics. I've got probably a box, just under a box full of comics left to get through. So had a few copies of this recently. Another copy of Avengers Annual number 10. Another newsstand. Every single one I seem to have coming through the shop is a newsstand at the moment. This one looks pretty good. I can't remember if James has worked on this one for me. There's a couple of really small dents along the spine. They're not breaking colour. They're not really bends. So I'm not even sure if they're even going to get picked up as a defect. The cover, if you want to be picky, is slightly out of line. The back looks sharp. This is a really good copy, in my opinion, of a great book and a hot book at the moment. This one is climbing and climbing and climbing. I think we've got one copy left, raw, which will be up in the claim sale. Depending on how high the grade is on this one, it might be going into the personal collection, but we'll see. I'm going to go as far as kind of presuming we're at mid-9s and above on this one. It's that good, guys. Unless I'm missing some, I can see, like I said, I can see a couple of dents. The corners look fantastic. The alignment's a bit off, but that's nothing too major on this, and it is a newsstand, so let's give it a go. 9.6. Really happy with that one. So those dents don't seem to have impacted it massively. That will be what brought the condition down, but they haven't done a massive difference to it. That's a phenomenal book, in a really great condition and in a newsstand as well. So that's a great start to the second video. I knew I had a better condition. When I did my last video a couple of weeks ago, I did say that I think it came back at 8.5, and I did say I knew I had a better condition one and a newsstand one. So I'm really pleased with that one. Really happy. Detective Comics 880. It's got the Snyder and Jock signatures. Both have been verified. Classic Detective Comics cover. Iconic cover. One of the biggest kind of modern covers, in my own personal opinion. One of the biggest and best modern covers out there. This one looks pretty decent, guys. I'm kind of expecting... do you know what I was going to say? I'm expecting high 9s, but then I look on the back and I'm kind of like, well, there's a bit of colour rub on the one staple. The corner's a little bit worn. Again, maybe just printer wear on that one. So let's say a conserved 9.4 and see where we go from there, guys. It may be higher though. It may be a lot lower. 9.4. I'm happy with that. That's still a really nice book to have in that condition. With the white spine, it can be difficult to maintain the great standard of that one, but it is double signed, so that'll be a really nice pickup for someone in the next live claim, 2nd of July. I'll keep plugging it. We had a phenomenal turnout at the last show. Record numbers again. We seem to be growing month after month after month. Lots of new people buying from us, as well as our existing people, but loads of people just jumping in and having a chat and being part of the experience, which is great as well. Not everybody has to be buying, so thank you for joining us, and definitely jump into the next one on the 2nd of July. Fantastic Four number 1, so I'm guessing this is the other Greg Horn. Yeah, it's Greg Horn with the Hulk and the Thing. Strange artwork, strange interpretation of the Thing. Still draws a damn sight better than I ever could. The Hulk looks awesome. A great signature placement, great signature colouring yet again on this one. For me, he goes up there in the kind of levels of Clayton Crane, who his signature placement and colouring is spot on, and one of the best in the game. But I think Greg Horn actually, it probably doesn't get talked about, but I think his placement and colour use is also great. He always ties it into the cover art, but that one looks great. Wanted Comics Virgin exclusive. Let's hope for a 9.8 and a 9.4. Okay, I didn't even look at the comic first. I can see right in the middle of the comic, there's about 2 or 3 dirty spine ticks right in the middle of it, and a bend on the corner, which breaks colour as well. And I'm surprised I didn't see that. That's unlike me. I might miss a spine tick when I'm kind of showing you guys, but I wouldn't normally miss a colour breaking bend like that. You can't win them all. I'll have to have a look at that one. Not too sure why it was got a bend like that. So, but the grade again is spot on with the condition, with the defects I can see is spot on. Don't even know what this is from the back. What if number 4? What if the alien costume had possessed Spider-Man? Beautiful cover. I know What If is getting really popular again at the moment, and about time. It's not a perfect condition. It's certainly around about the kind of 7s, the 8s. It's not the worst condition, but it's got enough wear on it to bring the grading down. There's a crease on the back as well, which I can't really show you yet without breaking my arm. But it's a great cover, and we're getting a lot of attention on these What Ifs as well, guys. So 7s, 8s, we'll be happy. Let's see how we go. And a 7, excellent. Pleased with that. Yeah, like I said, there's quite a it's quite a small crease, but it's a crease in the corner that breaks colour. So we're expecting that kind of grade. Happy with that as a 7, but that'll be a nice little pickup for someone in the show as well. Can probably guess who's going to be going for those ones, but you never know. Amazing Spider-Man 365, heavy spine ticks on this one. I had this one in the last video as well, and I talked about where I had a CGC 9.6 that was a green label, double signed, so I wanted to get it over to CBCS, but I expected it to drop the grade. It did drop the grade as expected. It went down to a 9.4, but I think with these kind of 365s, the creasing on the spine is quite common. It's not on all of them. There are really nice quality copies. I've got 3 of these that have just gone off. Really good spec book at the moment, nice and cheap to pick up. First appearance of Spider-Man 2099, so it's definitely a nice little spec book, especially with the Miles Morales kind of Spider-Verse films upcoming, with loads of characters packed into them. So definitely worth a comic that's worth picking up, guys. But it's got multiple spine ticks down here. I'm not expecting it to be too bad. It's got a bit of dirt on the back, so maybe we're at about a 9, a 9.2 on this one, guys. But let's have a look. 9.2. I'm not doing too badly on the grades today, on the guessing and on what we're picking up. So a 9.2 is pretty decent on that one. I'm happy. It's one of the ones I still don't have a 9.8. I've got all the other 30th anniversary hologram covers in 9.8s, but the Amazing Spider-Man 365 is the only one I don't have in a 9.8. I have sent 3 copies off, like I've said. Fingers crossed one of them is going to come back a 9.8, but it's a really good little spec book, in my opinion, that you might want to keep your eyes open for, guys. Amazing Spider-Man number 4, with a Dan Slott signature. It's the first appearance of Cindy Moon as Silk. I'm not expecting massive things for this, guys. As you can probably see from the top, I'm not too sure if you'll see through the video. It's a little bit tanned. It's definitely got sun damage. I sold this a few years ago, and I hadn't actually seen another copy in person. So to us, it just looked like that was the norm. It was just a slightly off-white cover. Obviously, when the guy received it, he mentioned it to me, and we immediately sent him a refund. He sent the comic back as well. And it's been sitting in the collection for a while. I wasn't going to bother grading it because of the sun damage, but Obviously, with things moving forward with silk now, I thought it was certainly worth doing that, even if it's a cheap pickup for someone. Like I said, it's got the Dan Slott signature, who talks more than me, which is saying something, but it's a nice little book. It says that the top layer of the digital code has been removed as well, so I suffered a grade drop on another book because of that. I can see a very little bit of colour rub as well on the front, so maybe I don't know. I actually don't know what the kind of tanning would do to this. It could go anywhere on the scale with a colour damage. So I'm not too sure how CBCS will grade that, but I also wanted to know how they do judge sun damage. Let's have a look. An 8.5. So I'll have to check it out. There are the two notable defects in regards to the colour damage and the digital sticker being removed. So it'd be worth finding out which did which to the grade. But I'm not unhappy with that. I'm quite pleased with that for a grade. But that'll make it a nice, relatively cheap pickup for someone on what could become a really nice key first appearance. A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night, cover A, I believe. I did a review on this book months ago now, and it shows how busy we've got because I've not done a comic review for probably 3 or 4 months. I haven't even read a comic book for that period, so finding it really difficult to make the time. But this one, I had mixed opinions on. It's a great cover. It's worth a read if you can pick it up cheap, but it did start to creep up in value a little bit. I'm expecting let's expect a 9.8. Let's reach for the stars and see where we get on that one. Excellent, 9.8. Fantastic. I have actually got another copy, the variant cover B, in a 9.8. Came back in the same delivery. Didn't realise I'd put it in with everybody else's comics that have now been boxed and dispatched. One kind of slipped through the net, so I've already seen that. That was a 9.8 as well. So we've got cover A and cover B that they may be up for grabs in the live, guys. A Zenoscope comic, so I'm guessing that's Grim Fairy Tales #1. A recent pickup. Had a really nice condition one recently and let that one go raw, and then picked this up for a reasonable price. It's got a crease on the back, and I don't know why I wouldn't have sent that for pressing. I can see the crease blatantly. It seems silly on my part to have not sent off for pressing. That would definitely bump the grade up on this one. So maybe we're at kind of as low as a 9.2 on that one. I see a couple of small dents on the cover. Let's have a look, see how we get on. 9.6. I'm quite surprised with that. I'll have to have a closer look at that and look at the grader notes. I can see a couple of dents. They're not colour breaking. They're not creases. So again, like one of the other comics, maybe they've been overlooked on that and they're not too worried about that one. There's a slightly blunted corner. Again, it's the spine, so it may well have just been classed as a printer defect. I reckon if I send this one off to James, get him to press out that corner, we're looking at a 9.8 on this then, on that scale. So we'll be doing that one. So that won't be up in the shop just yet. So we'll send that one out for a clean and a press. Get James to sort that one out for us. He does a fantastic job. And we'll get that one back for hopefully for a 9.8. Guardians of the Galaxy #1. I think this is another Greg Horn. It is nice Greg Horn with Gamora on the front. Again, signature placement, colour of the signature is fantastic. Not going to keep going over that now. This one's looking okay. Again, the only things I can see are the corners, which again seems to be a known defect and more acceptable as the days go by. Back looks okay, looks nice and tight. Let's have a look. A 9.6. I'm always happy with 9.6s. I think we kind of look at a 9.6 and think, oh, it's not a 9.8, but the 9.6s, in my opinion, maybe not necessarily on the modern books, but certainly on the keys, the 9.8s are going out of reach for so many people. So, in my opinion, a lot of people jumping on the 9.6s now as the affordable key. Even those aren't cheap for a lot of comics, but I think a lot of us turn our nose up at 9.6s, but maybe we shouldn't when, you know, retailers are selling comic books out as near mint condition. So we're looking at a 9.4 raw. So to achieve a 9.6, maybe we shouldn't be turning our nose up at it that much. Let's have a look. Warlock and the Infinity Watch, number 1. Angel Medina signed. Had this one again in the signed box that we've got. We're still trying to get through it all to get it all to you guys in the live shows. Obviously with Warlock and Adam Warlock and him, be interesting to see what happens moving forward and what they do with the guy. Obviously we saw his kind of cameo appearance, or the cocoon appearance in the last Guardians of the Galaxy. So I think everybody's wondering what they're going to do with him. Not a character I know a great lot about, in all honesty. But a really nice cover, and being as it was signed, I thought, why not? Got a couple of spine ticks, a little bit of dirt on the cover, maybe a little bit of fade in the top corner. So let's say an 8, 8.5, and anything else above is a bonus. 9.2. I need to have a look at the some comparative covers of this one. I'm not too sure if this is colour fade or if it's part of the actual logo box up there. I'm happy with 9.2, really pleased with that. Really nice cover. And signed as well, so I've lost my touch on the grading. I had it and it's gone. Captain America number 1 variant. This is a wraparound cover. Alex Ross again, and signed by Alex Ross himself. It's been verified. We're happy with that one. It looks in a decent condition, unless there's anything that's not standing out. Spine looks good as well. Hopefully you guys can see these covers. I haven't even checked, so I'm hoping that you've actually been able to see these covers as we've gone along. Otherwise I've probably just wasted half hour of your time. Yeah, really nice one. So 9.6, 9.8, and I'll be happy. Not too sure if that's wear and splitting on the spine. Not splitting as such, but some of these covers, especially the kind of thicker books, they tended to suffer from a kind of white streak all the way down the spine. This cover itself hasn't split, but it's just where it's kind of folded and manufactured, so it doesn't always affect them, but you never know. So fingers crossed. 9.6, 9.8. Excellent. Another 9.8. So we're doing okay on the Alex Ross signatures at the moment. Really happy to have that one. Really pleased. Still a few to go. I think there's another 10 books or so still left in here, guys. Transformers, I'm guessing from the back. You can't even see that, so there's no point me even showing you there. Loads of little kind of sketch concept drawings on the back. There we go. Transformers, signed by Peter Cullen. It's Transformers 0 from the BotCon 2005 exclusive. Nice Peter Cullen signature. I've got a couple of his signatures, so I tried to pick out the best one to send off for grading. I love the cover. Really nice kind of cover of Optimus Prime. Really nice book. Looking at it, it looks pretty tight, so let's go over 9.8. Excellent. Another 9.8. We're doing really well. It's a really nice cover, especially with the signature as well. Peter, for someone that's not very comic book orientated, Peter's signatures always seem to be in decent placement as well. Whether that's the people that are getting it signed themselves, or you know, whether Peter's got some element of knowledge of where to put his signature. So Transformers number 1. This was a retailer incentive. It's a Showcase Comics exclusive, signed by Robbie Musso, or Musso. It's his variant cover as well. Hadn't seen this, and I'd never come across this cover before, and a few of the people I spoke to had never come across this cover either. So it's not one that you see everywhere. It looks pretty tight. I can see a dent. Doesn't seem to break colour, so it might not be impacted. Might take us down to a 9.6, or we might still be lucky and hit the 9.8 on it. So let's have a quick look. His signature's up here as well, so nicely off the art, but beautiful, beautiful artwork. And another 9.8. So these dents don't seem to be doing us any harm at the moment. It's not a really big crease, and it's certainly not a colour breaker. But it just seems to be like a spot that's kind of dented in slightly. But again, to some extent, it's probably where the cover is manufactured, and obviously the spine would always show some element of kind of creasing and folding over. So who knows? But they're not doing us any harm on this video. Okay, Darth Vader #1. Try and get you a good picture of this one. I've got the laptop down by my side, so I'm just checking where the screen is for you guys. This was a sketch cover done by Phil Buckingham. A lot of you guys know Phil. Phil does phenomenal sketches for a really, really fair price. Puts so much work into it. You know, even the background detail on this one. The colours look awesome. The work he puts into it is phenomenal. So if you haven't got a Phil sketch, go and speak to the guy. He's on Facebook. You do need to get one of his sketches, at least one of them. I picked this up as a blank cover, but someone had it signed by Dave Prowse. I picked it up just before he passed. It wasn't in a great condition. There was a slight bend. It's on the back cover. I'll try and show you in a minute. It's got a bend in the corner, but other than that, it's okay. It looks decent. A slight corner tear again, top and bottom, probably printer defects. But for me, with a Phil sketch, I'm really not worried about what the grade comes back. We've got it signed by Dave Prowse. We've got it sketched by Phil, so it's as good as it needs to be. This is a private collection one, so it's not going anywhere like a lot of my Phil sketches. So let's have a look at this one. A 9.0. So yeah, I can see when I move my hand, I can see the kind of corner damage in that top corner. I'm not too sure if you'll pick it up from that, but there's a crease in the top corner on the back as well. But that cover artwork is absolutely phenomenal. Thank you, Phil. Appreciate your work that you do on all these sketches and the effort that you put in. But really pleased to have that in the collection. I actually used to get quite a few of these comics done by Phil, and I just got them as the art grade. Where I definitely know I'm going to drop in the grade. At one point I was just getting the art grade. I've just kind of gone off how it looks. I don't like the art bracket in the corner, but it's a really good option. At the end of the day, the main thing for me on these sketch covers is purely the artwork and the Dave Prowse signature, so it's as good as it needs to be. Oh, got a nice big book. This is Department of Truth #2. It's the red foil cover by Alexander. It came from Scott's Collectibles. I've got all three of this particular set. The other two are both going to be available in the live claim sale. This one is the big book though. This is the red foil cover. Really limited quantities. I can't remember for the life of me what it was limited to, but it's not very high at all. I think it might even be as low as 100. Fingers crossed for a really big grade on this one. I talked to someone before. I can see some on the left hand side, but I'm not too sure if it's artwork because it's got a few flecks of colour. Other than that, I'm pretty sure it's good. Fingers crossed it's a 9.8. I don't want a 9.6 on this, but you never know. So let's see where we get on with that one. Fingers crossed for a 9.8. Yes, get in. Really happy with that one. First bit of emotion you'll ever see. Really happy with a 9.8 on that. Lucy's at the door. She's just heard a courier turn up. Now it's either a courier picking up or it's a courier dropping off a brand new FedEx parcel with 3 special books inside back from CBCS that I sent separately. She'll walk in a minute. It probably won't even be those back, but if it is, once I've got through these, I'm going to crack on. I'm going to get that unboxed with you guys here. Really excited to see what's in that one as well. But I'm excited for now. I'm excited with what we've got. I'm excited to get through the ones we've got in front of us. I love this cover. Adi Granov, Wolverine #3. I've actually got two different variants. This one was the kind of black and white exclusive by Comics Elite. It's a beautiful cover. Adi Granov's work is really nice. Seen quite a few of his sketch works and commission works about as well. Really top artist, but that's awesome, guys. Really, really nice cover. I'm expecting 9.8, so I don't see any defects. They were straight from retailer. Let's have a 9.8. Probably got a crack in the case now. Boom. What we got? 9.8. Excellent. Got a really good CBCS run on this. Really pleased with how these ones have turned out. Well worth the wait. Still got a Silver Surfer 1 to come up yet as well. So this should be the... Okay. Hopefully it'll be in the box. X-Men #10. Frankie's Mike Mayhew cover. Again, this was the Virgin cover. I've got a trade, which I think we may have even sold on one of the last live shows. Again, fantastic artwork. Mike seems to be doing quite a few of these X23 kind of all new Wolverine variant covers at the moment. I'm sure I saw one pop up on a post today as well. So this one's #10, X-Men #10. Looks good, looks strong. Maybe a little bit of dirt, but I'm not too sure if it's kind of been picked up. Let's have a look. Hopefully for another 9.8. Excellent. Really, really happy. I'll sleep at night now. Not only is it back in my loving arms, they're all back as 9.8s. What more could you ask for? Okay. Oh. 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 Uncanny X-Men 21. James Gower worked some magic on these. I've got 2 copies that I bought from one of my regular retailers in America. They did a bit of an overstock sell-off. It is the FedEx delivery. We've got another 3 books that I'm going to get to them last. Lucy will move them in the boxes now. Really excited for this. Anyway, I'll get back to it. Uncanny X-Men 21. It's the John Tyler Christopher negative variants. I picked them up from a retailer I've used for a long, long time, and they didn't even tell me that both of them had got some really nasty creases across the front cover. They weren't necessarily colour breaking, but they weren't good. They were sold again as high grade, and when they sell as high grade, it normally means a 9.6, 9.8. But these creases were shocking. The comics had got kind of finger dents all over them. Someone had gone to town on these covers, and I sent it over to James, and he did his best on them. When they're that heavily creased, there's always a chance that you're not going to fix it. You're only going to get so far with it. So I don't know what to expect from them. The spines look decent. It was more around this kind of area that they'd got the wear. So, but he looks like he's done a phenomenal job, as he always does. Back cover looks good. It now lies nice and flat. So fingers crossed we'll get a good result on this one. Whatever comes back with the result, it'll be much higher than it would have got before James went to work on it. So let's have a quick look. A 9.8. Seriously, if you saw what it looked like before and what James did to it, that is a phenomenal result. James, I appreciate you, buddy. James Gower, Comic Clinic, guys. You know I always recommend him as the go-to. There's a few other guys as well that pop up in the groups that I've had great conversations with. James does all mine for me, and I've always gone through James, but really pleased. Really pleased with that, to get a 9.8 on that. So I'm really happy. I have got another one somewhere in here. I think this one's it. Again, same story, same situation, same result. Yes, get in. James, you're a legend, buddy. Get to a show. I'll buy you a beer or 10. Really pleased with that one. Really, really happy to get both of those back in a 9.8. I've seen quite a few 9.4s and 9.6s knocking about. So really, really happy to have this book back in a 9.8. Interestingly enough, John Tyler Christopher, J. Scott Campbell has just done I believe it's a Rogue variant, his own negative variant. A few of you guys have spoke to me about it already. I've potentially got 4 copies coming back. Don't know what conditions they're going to be. Hoping for great conditions, and I may well slab a couple. But yeah, I should have a few of those coming in, so keep your eyes open for those. You're more than welcome to speak to me in advance if you're looking for one. I'm not going to put any reserves down on it yet, though, until I know what the conditions are. I don't like to put a reserve on a comic without being able to see it at least first. So, Amazing Spider-Man 39. I bought this a long time ago. Again, another comic that was picked up for the John Romita signing event, which sadly didn't go ahead. I think when we talked about it, when I picked this one up, we were kind of looking around about the 7s-ish, give or take, a grade. So I'm never going to hold anyone to a 7. If it comes back a 6, it's a beautiful looking 6. If it comes back an 8, I'll be well happy. But it is a really nice cover. The colours are nice and strong still on it. Goes into my collection of Amazing Spider-Man. I looked at it earlier. I'm from issues 20 to 100. I'm now missing 11 issues. So I'll be dropping another post on because I want to get that complete before I then start moving on to some of the earlier key appearances. Let's have a look and see where we get on with this one. So we were kind of quoted a 7, a 6 and 8 either side. We'll be happy on that one. So let's have a look. Perfect. Really, really good quality service from the guy I picked this up for. Want to say it was Quentin. I'm not too sure. Good friend Derek. But I'm not too sure. I might be wrong on that one. I'm sure he'll tell me. He called that one. If it is, he called that one to the letter on his grading. So thank you for that, buddy. I really appreciate that. Really pleased to have a 7.0 in Amazing Spider-Man 39 in the collection. Still got some more to get through. Oh, okay. This is an interesting one. M&M Punisher Kill You #1. Really thin, kind of more like a pamphlet, leaflet type book. I believe it was in XXL magazine. Not one I know. As a giveaway. So quite difficult to get hold of these for comic collectors. I tried to purchase one a long time ago and had some really big issues with that one and ended up never getting the copy. So I then had to go and source another one from the US. They're really difficult to come by. When it did turn up, it had a few defects that James worked on. We then had a conversation about some of the defects in it, and he put even more work into it. So again, whatever grade it comes back at, it will be down to his work and his experience. It looks pretty good. It had a bit of damage, a bit of wear on the cover. Again, whether that's a tiny bit of colour rub near the staple, I'm not too sure. But this is a phenomenal book. Of course, you're hoping for a 9.8 because the difference between a 9.8 and a 9.6 on this book is massive. I'm hoping for a 9.8. It's been a long time coming, this one, so it's one of those ones, if you don't get a 9.8, you'd be disappointed, but you shouldn't be. Like I said, James did a phenomenal job on it. I should look at the wife now and see what her face is like, because that'll tell me if it's a 9.8 or a 9.6. Get in! I don't celebrate that much when I get 9.8s. That is phenomenal. James, You are a superstar, buddy. Let's make it a crate. Forget the 10. Forget the 10 points. I'll make it a crate of beer, mate. That is phenomenal work, guys. If you saw what he had to do, and he had to put it through multiple processes, he walked me through what he was doing to it as well, which is great. You know, when you consider how many comics he's grading, for him to go into that much detail with people and explain why the paper works in the way it does, why a corner will work in the way it does, or you know, the cover, the centerfold, etc. And he goes into a lot of detail about what he needs to do and the process he takes, which is greatly appreciated, because even though I'm no expert in it and I still don't know anything about comic pressing and cleaning, it allows me to understand what he's doing with the books and the amount of work he genuinely puts into these. That is a phenomenal book. I'm so pleased to have that come back in a 9.8. That is a big book. It's a big book with a little book inside. That's fantastic. We should make this just a video. The video will be this for the next 10 minutes of me just celebrating, holding this cover up. I'm really pleased with that. Excellent. Thank you, James. You're a superstar, mate. You can all go home now. We're done. We've done what we need to do. And then he breaks out Silver Surfer #1. It's like a Sunil video. We joke with Sunil. Whenever anyone's pulling out books and showing books, you'll show a Silver Surfer 1 in a 6.0. It'll break out a 9.8. You know, you'll show Fantastic Four #1 in a 1.0. It'll break out a 9.8. We joke. But yeah, he's always bringing out comics one after the other with a phenomenal collection. Really interesting guy as well. Good friend that I speak to quite a bit, and always looking out for me. So thank you, Sunil. If you do ever watch these videos, he's always shouting me for brand new Spider-Man comics that are popping up left, right, and centre. I may as well just give him my wallet and just send him out to go and buy the comics for me. He finds that many. Silver Surfer #1. It's got wear. It's not a perfect copy. I never was expecting it. The spine looks intact. All looks good. I reckon we're about a kind of 4. The back cover actually presents really well on the back cover. Always would rather have the front cover present better, but I reckon we're at a 4 and above. There's a heavy wear on that spine, but like I said, it's intact, so you may hit a 4.5. Let's have a look. Let's see. 3.5. You can't win them all. Cream to off-white pages. I was close. It wasn't too far away. There's a lot of kind of wear down that side. The cover itself, you know, like I said, there's wear on that cover. I'm not concerned about a 3.5, guys. I'll accept that all day long on a Silver Surfer #1. Really happy with that one. That's another one that's been sitting there for a long time that just hasn't gone off for grading. Getting more and more difficult to pick what to send and what not to send for grading. I end up sending about 70-80 comics, which is why we've got so many back in now. Need to bring it down a little bit. Amazing Spider-Man 20. Again, this was part of the collection. I'm disappointed. First 2 wraps are married. 2 pieces of tape on the cover. Yeah, I'm not. Be interesting to see what it does. Whether that's going to come down as. Let's have a look, shall we? It's back cover's not too bad. Front has got wear. It is a blue label, but let's have a quick look and see how we get on with that. First appearance of the Scorpion, Matt Garben. Let's have a look. It's one for the collection anyway, guys. So yeah, it's come back married. I'm annoyed. I think one of the things I always ask when I'm buying a book like this is if there's any restoration, anything wrong with the book itself. So I'm really annoyed that it's got that. But it is what it is. You can't win them all, guys. We've had some great books. Obviously with CBCS, they'll just note it at the top whether it's conserved. Oh, wrong side, just up here. whether it's conserved or whether it's married or whether it's restoration. So they'll note it there. The notes will tell me everything. In fairness, the notes on the front cover tell me as well. Yeah, I'm disappointed. The grade's probably actually a bit above where I expected to be. I thought I was going to get about a 2 on it. But, oh well. You win some, you lose some, guys. I can always pick up another copy. Another Iron Man Submariner. I had several of these come through the shop over the last few months. They all seem to be in relatively similar condition. They've all got a bit of kind of spine wear, front and back. They've all got corner wear. They're all kind of tan. Can't see what the page colour is at the moment, but I'm expecting kind of off-white. Off-white to cream maybe, but let's have a look. See how we get on with this one. I was not expecting a 7.5. That's insane. Off-white to white pages. That's insane. The back looks good. Don't get me wrong. The back cover looks really good. I suppose what I'm going by, rather than grading the comic, I'm looking at this compared to my other copies that I've got, which have all come back 4s and 4.5. So that's kind of where I expected to be on that one. I was contemplating picking up a higher grade than what I've got in my collection. Don't need to now. Yeah, spine wear, spine creases. Happy. Happy with a 7.5. Really good on that one. So really pleased to have that one. I told you I had some nice books in this submission. Right, how many have we got left? We've got about five, maybe 6 left. 8. Got 8 left. Star Wars 107, another one that I picked up as a near mint. When it turned up, it had got kind of multiple spine ticks that couldn't be seen from the original photos. So I wasn't overly happy about it. But it is, again, it's a newsstand. It was the last issue of this series. So it's just a book that I wanted. By all means, it's not a bad copy of the book. I think that's a good place to show you guys. It's not a bad copy of the book at all. The spine and the corners, other than the kind of ticks and the dents, they look okay. But it's certainly not the worst copy. I still think it's quite high in its grading. But like I said, it is a newsstand copy. So let's have a look. Let's shoot for a 9.2. See how we get on from there. I can't grade. An 8.0. I'm not seeing it. I'm sure the grader notes will tell me. I'm sure the grader notes will tell me what's gone on with that. But this again comes down to what we talked about earlier. Selling people books as a near mint. When they're clearly not. There's something wrong with certain comic books. In fairness, the seller did help me out when we had a discussion about this one. So, but by all means, I'm not slating that seller. It can be difficult, especially when they're not visible defects, to list them all. We don't want to all be flicking through every single page of every single comic book to give the perfect grade. But it certainly wasn't a near mint, and obviously as the grade has come back, it wasn't either. But it is a newsstand, so it's still a great copy. I've also brought into stock issues 1 to 15 of Star Wars, the 1977 series as well. So they might be up on a live claim. We might do it as a complete run of 1 to 15. And we might separate all those issues for anyone that's interested in that. Okay, so Star Wars number 4. It was a John Tyler Christopher Boba Fett variant. Obviously number 4, the original action figure is Chewbacca. But this was a great comic. Signed by Jeremy Bullock. Where are we? There we go. Probably the best you're going to see of it, guys. Well, I love these action figure variants. So this is the second one I've got in. This one I can see a colour break. But I can only see one. Unless there's dents or anything like that I'm missing. There's a bit of spine rub again on the back. which doesn't seem to be getting criticised on any of these comics at the moment. So let's shoot for a 9.4, 9.6 and see where we get on from there. Excellent, 9.6 on that. Like I said, I can see the colour break just there. So we've got a 9.8 and we've got a 9.6 both available in the shop. Obviously the 9.6 would be the more affordable copies for you guys, but still a great copy. A 9.6 with a Jeremy Bullock signature is still worth picking up. Okay, so we got Star Wars number 7. This was the Reed Pop. Reed Pop springs to mind. That may not even be the store name, so apologies. It was the NYCC 2020 variant by John Tyler Christopher. It's a negative cover, as you can see. It was limited to only 4,000. So, but I really like his negative covers. Obviously, you've seen the Hayden Christensen, Anakin Skywalker one I had for Dooku that went in the last live claim. That's gone off for grading for that customer, as well as my own personal copy's gone off for grading as well. So they'll be back soon. But for now, Star Wars number 7, John Tyler Christopher, 9.8. Back on the winning trail. Really happy with that one. It's a beautiful book. Love the orange colour. Kind of sticks through on that one. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Nearly down to those the 3 extra books that have turned up. Again, another copy of Boba Fett. I went a bit crazy on the Boba Fett. Age of Rebellion, Boba Fett cover, Jeremy Bullock signature. Was the same seller that I bought a lot of these from off eBay. It looks pretty decent. Go on, let's say a 9.8, and then we'll spot the defect afterwards. 9.8. So I had a good, nice range on them. All around the 9s, but a nice range on these kind of Boba Fett, Jeremy Bullock signed books. But that's a really nice cover. I really like that one. We're getting there, guys. Thank you all for your patience. 1, 2, 3. We've got the 3 left. The other copy of the Wolverine. So obviously we've seen the black and white 80 Granoff version already. This was the colour version. Still a virgin cover. But yeah, really nice one. Artwork's phenomenal. Again, this was Comics Elite. The other one got a 9.8, and this one has got a 9.8. Excellent. That's what you want for your modern retailer pickups. You want them to come back 9.8s. You want them to be as good a condition as they can. I always feel a bit deflated when I pick up from retailers, and it's probably about a 9.4, and it's got visible spine ticks. So. I'm really happy with how they've come back in. Hadn't used Comics Elite before that purchase, so and they've travelled over from the States as well, so that's good. Okay, a copy of Amazing Spider-Man 361, First Carnage, as we all know about. It was a CBCS graded 9.4. I had a look at the note, and the note told me that there was a bend, not a break, not a crease, but a bend on the cover, and it was around about. It was around about here. Yeah, I think it was about here. I hadn't even noticed it. Didn't even see it. But it was bought that way anyway. It was already graded, like I said. So it's signed by Danny Fingeroff. It's signed by Mark Bagley and Michelini. So it's a nice signed book. I'm hoping it's had its grade bump. It's had a press. It's had a clean. I'm hoping it fixed that. And has jumped up to a 9.6. It's got, the corners look good. I can see a couple of colour breaks, but like I said, the main note on the grader notes was the bend, so which is why I sent it off. Normally I wouldn't try and jump up from a 9.4 to a 9.6. I'd accept where I am, but fingers crossed. Let's see how we get on. It might stay the same, might even get worse. Yes, 9.6. So it was well worth. It was well worth the press and the clean. The grader notes from CBCS. This is the advantage to having grader notes and having them easily accessible for everybody. This is exactly what you want. You can see the grader notes. You can know what needs fixing on a book. It gives you a really easy gauge of whether you can then fix it, whether you can do anything about it. So thank you CBCS for making grader notes so accessible for everybody and free, and for making sure you've always got grader notes as well, which is another thing which really annoys me with unnamed grading companies. But I'm really happy with a 9.6. I know there's 2 other books. I'm not too sure which one we're going to get to yet. There's a story for both, I suppose. So make sure we're holding it right. So it's Blue Label. X-Men 266. It is X-Men 266. I picked this up as a PGX 9.8, and I'm not too sure if I'm going to regret switching it over from a PGX to a CBCS. I can see a couple of dents which I couldn't see before, but again, they're only dents. They're not. Doesn't look like it's colour breaking, so it could go either way. It's going to be one of them ones I'm going to be kicking myself that I took it out of a PGX and to CBCS, so I'm going to breathe a sigh of relief. Let's just get to it. Let's figure out. PGX have notoriously been poor graders by a lot of people's standards. From what I'm told, they're actually getting better recently, but I wouldn't go down the route of PGX. If I have to, I'll use CGC. Obviously, by choice, I'll use CBCS, but that's about it. Won't go in any other angles. First appearance of Gambit, which is being contested, obviously with a lot of fans at the moment. So let's just see how we get on for this one. Really happy that it's come back a 9.8. I sent it in to CBCS in its existing case, in the hope that they would look at it and say it was a 9.8, so let's keep it a 9.8. But it does look good. It looks strong. Happy to have a 9.8. White pages, obviously. Whew. Okay, one left. One left, and they're all done, guys. Until the next one. I've got nothing else coming back. I've got a few bits and pieces coming back for the live shows, which I'm not going to show you until the preview. Let's get the cheapest chips out the way this coming Saturday, and then we'll do a few preview shots with some of the great books that are going to be up for grabs. Things like Conan 1, things like Tomb of Dracula #1. A lot of these books are going to be up for grabs as well. Some of them won't, but some of them will be. So keep your eyes out for this. Picked this up from a good friend, from a really good friend, Nick Marshall, recently. It's the Young Avengers #1. It was the Wizard World Los Angeles kind of sketch exclusive cover. This book is jumping through hoops at the moment. It's doing so well. Nick sent it to me, perfectly protected as always with him. A lot of you guys know Nick anyway. Really reliable, trustworthy guy, and just generally friendly, all-round top bloke. I won a 9.8. I looked at it and I was sure it was a 9.8. I even sent it for a little press at CBCS, again in a hope that it would maximise it, even though I didn't think it needed it. I really want to hit a 9.8 on this one, so let's have a look. It could be a good end to the show, it could be a bad end to the show, where you start seeing the tears roll down, but I think we've got a 9.8. I think I'm relatively confident in hitting a 9.8 on it. It is a great cover. Be so interesting to see what they're going to do with Young Avengers. Obviously we've got the Hawkeye show coming up, but it'd just be really interesting to see what they do with Young Avengers and all these kind of younger characters coming through. Let's stop talking. Let's look at the grade. Let's look at a 9.8. Excellent. Really, really pleased. These have just literally turned up today. Perfect timing with the video. Thank you very much, Nick. Really appreciate that. That is an awesome book. Like I said, I was sure it was a 9.8 when he sent it over to me. But again, with a white cover, you never know what you're going to get. But it was immaculate. So really, really pleased with that one. That is a nice big book. All in all, guys, I am really pleased with the submission. We've now got 2 boxes full of extra graded stuff that we're going to get up for the live show. By all means, start speaking to me if you're interested in books. I'm not going to disclose the prices. I might disclose them a little bit earlier. Once we hit the kind of 2 weeks, 3 weeks from the show, that's when I stop selling anything that's going to appear in the show to make it fair for everybody. So if you're looking at this in the last week, if you're getting close to the 2nd of July, don't ask for prices because I'm not going to give them out. We'll just literally do them as and when the show rolls around, so everybody's got a fair chance in them. Thank you for watching, guys. I know it's been a long video. I'm really pleased. Battery's nearly dead on the laptop. We've been going that long. It's gone from 100% down to very little. So I'm going to shut up. I'm going to get off. Thank you for watching. Appreciate all your support, guys. Member milestone giveaway. 1,000 members is the next target. We look like picking up about 50 every single show we do. So hopefully by the time we get around to our next live, our next main live in July, we'd have picked up another 50 now for the cheapest chips. We'd have picked up another 50 at the end of the month. So we'll be getting close to the 1,000 anyway. We're going to look at a really good prize. I'm going to speak to a few people. I'm going to try and do my best to get you a really good prize as a thank you to all of you for being part of the group. You know, we are grateful for the constant comments and support. Thank you for watching the videos. You know, we'll put them up on YouTube. My main aim is always still to keep going through Facebook. You can ask me questions there. We'll keep doing the CBCS grading. What else? London Film and Comic Con has been postponed again. Didn't think it was going to happen in July, and it definitely isn't. It's now been put back to November with a lot of the guests still lined up for that show. I will be attending the show. If it goes ahead, I will be attending it. As long as it doesn't clash with Wales Comic Con, which could be an interesting one if they both go into November. We'll have to see what they do with that. But Wales Comic Con again, I'll be attending. We'll be doing signatures and getting books verified for people. So lots going on in the future. But for now, I'll take a deep breath. We'll leave it at that, guys. We've got loads of books to now get priced up and get bagged safely for you guys. I'll go and sit down and be happy and relax for 5 before we then crack on with some more pricing and getting more books out for you. Don't forget on the events to like the events, to comment on the events, to jump into the events, mark yourself as attending, or maybe you'll get notifications. Check us out, Cheap as Chips, this Saturday, 8 p.m. Make sure you check it out, guys. We've got lots of great books going on, and then we'll start pushing the next live event as well straight after that one. So thank you, guys. Take care. This is the longest wrap up I've probably ever done. Take care of yourselves. Speak to you all soon. See you later. Bye bye.